Welcome back, horror fans, to another movie review. This one very special as we're diving into the brand new fan film Vengeance 2 Bloodlines, a sequel to Friday the 13th Vengeance, but this time it's written and directed by Jason Brooks, also starring Jason Brooks, as he is playing Jason again. And we're definitely going to dive into spoilers on this. You just can't not talk about it without talking about spoilers. Like, you have to talk about the spoilers because this movie is wild. What I'm going to say first, if you don't want to be spoiled, is go watch. It is absolutely worth your time. I think it is the best fan film, best F-13 fan film, at least that I've ever seen. It's got everything that I think you'd want from a Friday the 13th movie. It's got the kills. It's got a story. It's got characters that are actually likable. And it's got the campiness, too. It managed to capture the campiness as well, which is something I think a lot of F-13 fan films are missing. And, man, I would honestly just shocked at just how good it turned out to be. And that's coming off of, Vengeance 1 had plenty of problems, okay? So to come and do what they did with Vengeance 2 is unbelievable.
Yeah. If you don't want to be spoiled, leave.
Yeah, right now.
Because there's some nutty stuff going on here.
Yeah, and speaking of which, let's just dive into spoilers right now. Do you want to start with the big one, or do you want to work up to it? I think we got to talk about the big one right away, because that's what everyone wants to hear our thoughts on. We did a countdown stream to this movie, and while we were doing it, everybody that we interviewed kept saying, hey, there's a big secret in there. There's something big that's going to happen. And I actually got to the point because Tamara Glynn was in it. And Tamara Glynn, of course, from Halloween 5. And she even references Haddonfield at one point. I figured we're going down it's going to be like a Michael versus Jason thing at the end, similar to Roseblood, but longer. Like the whole climax is surrounding, especially because CJ Graham and Elias Voorhees are playing around with the Necronomicon. I was like, dude, it's there. The potential's there. Mm-hmm. Instead, they just blew that out of the water. And they're like, hey, let's just have fucking Tom Matthews himself come back, be Tommy Jarvis again inside this world. But that's one thing, right? Like, we've seen Tom Matthews come back.
Yeah, and that's huge that he came back.
That's already a huge thing, right? It was crazy. I mean, it's to have Tom Matthews now in two different fan films and just playing Tommy Jarvis. Dude, more Tommy the better. Like, no complaints whatsoever. I don't think it takes away from Never Hike Alone. I don't think that Never Hike Alone takes away from Vengeance 2. I think they should exist together. It hurts nothing, in my opinion. But I'm excited to see Never Hike Alone 2 because Tom Matthews just shot over there for that movie. I'm excited to see that as well. Because it's totally fine. I think it's cool as fuck to have Tom Matthews playing Tommy Jarvis in two different universes right now. It's so cool. But what made Bloodlines even cooler was that he also gets to go against CJ Graham in costume as Part 6 Jason. And when they announced that, because they announced that ahead of time, that confirmed, the secret is out. CJ Graham is going to be playing Jason in Part 6 costume. Yeah. I was like, how do you do that?
I'm like, is it for like a second? Is it like a newspaper clipping or something?
Yeah, in what world does it make any sense to pull it off? But what they did was so smart. And it's honestly might be like the best 15 seconds I've in the entire franchise. It is so. I'm coming off the high of it.
Yes.
So maybe I won't say that tomorrow. But that is so cool. So cool. Yeah. It's that moment. To see the lightning flash and it's transitioning between Vengeance Jason with the sack head, which I think was so fucking cool. And then you CJ Graham as Part 6 Jason. I don't think people are just quite understanding what we're seeing. I think we're a little spoiled in the F-13 fan film space because you have so many alumni that have come back and reprised their characters. But dude, in 2022, we're seeing CJ Graham, after 36 years in costume, on camera, playing Jason, going against Tom Matthews on camera in his original Tommy Jarvis wardrobe. What world is this? You could have told me that last week. I wouldn't believe you. It's crazy.
That was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's seriously, it's such a crazy. The last 20 minutes are up there with some of the best overall Friday films. And I hate that shit. I hate saying like, oh, this fan film's better than an actual Friday the 13th movie, or it should be canon. I don't think I will never say a fan film should be canon. It feels wrong, but it genuinely passes a handful of Friday the 13th sequels for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that ending is one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, we got the little tease. We got just a picture of Tom Matthews as Tommy in Vengeance 1.
Yeah,
and then we saw that same picture earlier in Vengeance 2.
Yep. But
And
never thought. Never even crossed my mind. It's like, but I don't know. That was wild.
Yeah.
Never would have thought that he'd be in it. So, I don't know. First of all, shout out to the cast and crew for keeping it a secret, because they've been sitting on that shit for a long time.
The IMDb has been filled out for a month or so, more than a month, and he's not on there.
Yeah. And he's an executive producer as well. I saw his freaking credit on there. So it's like, wow, how cool is that? I'm excited to see Tom talk about it more. Man, I want to see him at a convention. I just want to chirp in his ear. Let's talk, because he's supposed to be part of the virtual convention, actually. If timing plans out, we'll have you on the virtual convention at the end of the month. So, dude, that would be wild.
Yeah.
But, man, he's so good in this. It's cool to see him have genuine stunts and a fight scene with Jason again. I think using the pole and have him get shot by lightning to kill him is smart. It's not only is it just like nostalgic and a cool Easter egg, but it's how else he gonna kill him? It makes total sense.
Yeah, you get that intense. I mean, he's reunited with his daughters,
right,
and fighting Jason and Elias, and so we see that side, and then after that scene where Jason gets taken down, we see a little more somber side, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, the movie ends with the funeral scene with Tom Matthews speaking at Sheriff Eliotti's, Steve Dash, his funeral. And it's just, it's just sad. It's sad as fuck, man. I mean, we made the Steve Dash documentary alongside Peter Anthony. And so, yeah, man, like Steve has a very special place in my heart. So to like see, it was one thing seeing his grandson play a young part 2 Jason.
That was wild at the beginning too.
Yeah, that already in of itself was a lot. But then to see Tom Matthews speaking at like his funeral and even having a line that says, you know, Jason, the real Jason.
Oh.
And it's, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Brought back some memories right there.
I mean, yeah, you're off the high of the climax of the movie, and then you're thrown into that, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's a great way to wrap it up. So the ending, like I said, the last 25, 30 minutes are freaking outstanding. I mean, just some of the best in the entire franchise. It's a perfect ending. Mm-hmm. And even to Elias' story, to the Voorhees timeline. Like, and I hate origin stories. I'm usually not a fan at all. But even the Necronomicon stuff and what Elias is trying to pull off, it all made sense to me, and it worked, which is surprising, because usually I would not say that. But I was like, okay, cool, this is fine. Yeah, this works for me. The rest of the movie is obviously, you peak so high at the end that you're like, is the rest of the movie good? But it actually genuinely is. Mm-hmm. Of course, you could sit here and nitpick. I could point out there's some weak acting here and there. There's some cheesy dialogue here and there. Just think like sound effects. If you want to go nitpick, I could totally do that. I could do that for my own fucking movie, no problem. But what I say is, I really love the relationship between Angelica and Ashley, and this kind of like this battle to make sure we find her and keep her safe. I think Kelly as Angelica, what a step up. And she was great in the first Vengeance, but she really brought it to the table in Vengeance 2. And Sanaya as well, man. Sanaya from Vengeance 1 to Vengeance 2 is a different performer. I mean, she is great in this movie. And at the point, even at the end, man, when we think that Angelica may have died, Sanaya brings it. I mean, and that scene doesn't work unless she brings it, and she really, really does.
I mean, we were like, oh, did they really just do that? Is she dead? And then you just see Sanaya.
Part of me does kind of wish she'd have died.
I said that too. But yeah, Like just seeing the emotion on her face, and we're like, "Oh, she's dead," and then she starts becoming emotional, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she's dead." She's not.
I think
out.
they should have just done it. I think they should have just killed her. I mean, maybe you're trying to prep for a Vengeance 3. I don't think so, but especially the way that Angelica's like, I love you, and then poof, smash her head. Just, I mean, that would be great. It'd be this whole big arc, and it would even more so because right after that's when Tommy Jarvis shows up. It's when their dad shows up. If he'd see that and he just got filled with rage too, and it played along in the story, I think that would have been even more fun to be. You could make it even better in my eyes, because a lot of people don't like seeing main cast die like that, but I don't know, it really makes that impactful. I think should have done it. Killer.
It was still done really well.
Yeah, I also made the bet that she was going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, now I lost. I think. Did I win or lose? What was the bet?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think we bet the same thing against each other, so
Probably.
we both lose.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so first of all, it is a bloodbath. I think you predicted 14 kills.
15.
16 actually. You
16.
predicted 16 kills. I predicted 22. I think the last count I recall seeing in the chat was 34, I think. Jesus Christ. That's one of the highest body counts in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
And dude, the roadblock scene, that scene, of course, that's where you're going to see some weaker acting, because there's like 25 fucking people there. There's a lot going on. But like, I was just trying to think about how to shoot that, edit that, and it was overwhelming. So the fact there's so much practical effects in it too, I mean, there's no scene that really even compares to that I could think of in at least in the fan film world.
No, that film, I was like, oh man, there's just gonna be so much going on. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna like the scene, but I never got like bored, but I never got overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're able to keep up with it.
Yeah, like it slowed down enough before it really picked up, and slowed down enough. It was still hectic.
Yeah,
but it worked, and that's what I was afraid of when shit started going down.
Yeah, and it's being in the middle of the day for it is really fun too. I thought that was a really fun choice. Darcy DeMoss and her return playing as Nikki. Whether you think she should been able to survive in part 6 or not, whatever she does, she has scars on her face. But she really does bite the bullet this time. She's not going to walk away from this one. Tamara Glynn, I already talked about her. Ruby Graham, CJ's wife, getting in there is so cool. So I was down though. The kills there's a lot of great kills. The two that I really, really like, Ramon's death, which thank God he got a cool death. With this machete through the eye and his eye moving, that's really cool.
That was so good.
And then Debbie Forrester's death with the cross to the head, it looked very legit.
It really did.
It's like, holy shit. Yeah, that's a great kill. And I love that Elias, CJ Graham, is the one that gets to perform that kill as well.
Yes.
So they both get a shining moment with cool kills. So the last thing I really want to spotlight for being like really good, that I think we need more and more of this, and not just fan films, but just slashers in general. There's like a cat and mouse couple scenes with Angelica and Jason, and I fucking love it. Not only does it visually look great, but there's real suspense there, and we don't get that much in slashers anymore.
No, that was one thing that was a big criticism on the first Vengeance, is anytime you knew when someone was going to die, you could count to 10. You see Jason walking in the background, you count to 10, a person we've never seen before is on camera and dies. Yeah. There was no suspense, no, nothing was drawn out. It was Jason's here, so someone's going to die, and 10 seconds later, they were dead in the first Vengeance. In this one, there's actually genuine suspense. And that long-ish scene of the cat and mouse, if you will, was really well done and beautifully shot. And there was one scene with the little curtain door. Yeah. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah, it's a great shot. I don't know. And Cody, when we talked to Cody on the interview, the countdown, he just said straight up, he's like, I took a Sam Raimi approach to it, where I don't care where the lighting's coming from. I just want it to look good. So they backlit the fuck out of Jason whenever they could, and that shot specifically comes as a result of that. So yeah, I totally agree with it. It's a Friday the 13th movie, man. It doesn't need to be like neo-noir. Go for it. Be artistic. Go over the top. And I love that style. And to have a suspenseful scene like that mixed in with all these insane, brutal, campy type of kills, I love that. It's just got everything that I want from an F-13 movie. So yeah, they really nailed it. Seriously, like these are people that I call friends, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I was just shocked that they pulled that off in such a way. Like, wow, I wish I would have worked on it now. There was a time when we were supposed to work on Vengeance 2 and then work got in the way. And I so desperately wish I could have been there to see things like Tom and CJ going at it. Like, how cool would it be to witness that in person?
Yeah, just the step from Vengeance 1 to Vengeance 2, extraordinary.
Yeah, it's by a mile.
Absolutely well done.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else like specifically I want to spot out. I love that Tom McLaughlin has more screen time compared to the first one. I think he's great. He has some real acting chops. There's a bug going right in my eye. He's got some real acting chops, and I just wanted him to be able to show it off more. I love that guy, so to him to get as much screen time as possible was cool. And I think the story they were going with him and Elias was fun as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I at this moment I don't have that many complaints beyond very like nitpicking.
Nitpicks.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, of course in a fan film I'm going to be able to find poor performances here and there or weaker dialogue here and there.
Or an editing mistake.
Yeah. And that's why I think this movie's so impressive, because I'm at a point now where if I go in and I start nitpicking like that, I'm no longer talking about a fan film. For me to go in and critique like I would never do that to a fan film. I would never do that to The Fall Camp Blood. I won't expect anybody to do that to The Fall Camp Blood. It's so for me to even start thinking like that, it just shows that Vengeance 2 is on a different level. So man, I don't know. I really dug it. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for them. God, I wish we would have fucking worked on it. God damn it.
Congrats to the cast and crew, everyone involved. It was listen, like we said in the pre-show stream, like, we know what it was like to do a fan film, and Vengeance 2 and even Vengeance 1 is 10, 20 times what we went through.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 times more people than we do. So it's just insane. Yeah. And the amount of practical effects they're messing with. Prosthetics are no joke, man. It's a lot of work, and a lot of special effects are a pain. So
congrats.
Yeah, for real. I don't know. I'm going to go watch it again.
It seems really well received, at least, the people in the chat. And that was always a fun part, having a YouTube premiere, having the live chat going, everyone's watching at the same time.
Yeah.
That was really fun to see and watch along with.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you happen to watch this and didn't watch the movie, well, that was a mistake, but I did tell you.
I still watch it, though.
Yeah, go watch it. If it wasn't enough for me to encourage you now.
And if you're a big fan of, gory kills, yeah, watch it. You're really going to enjoy a lot of the kills in this movie.
I think if you genuinely are a fan of Friday the 13th, which apparently there's a lot of that missing lately, but if you're genuinely a fan of Friday the 13th, the franchise, there's no way you don't like Vengeance 2. Yeah. Seriously, I don't know how you wouldn't enjoy it. So, that's our thoughts. Twas fun. It was really fun being in the chat with everybody too. That was cool, like you said.
Yeah,
good times.
Absolutely. Jason, Vengeance 3.
Yeah, that's a perfect ending. I'd probably leave it alone.
Yeah, on our pre-show, he did say no plans.
Yeah, probably not.
Never say never, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Except for like Fall Camp Blood, we say never. So we get it if when you say never, it means never.
Right. All right, well, that's going to wrap this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And, of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.